I was sipping coffee on the back porch of my cabin overlooking Willow Ridge Lake when a high-pitched voice pierced the peaceful morning stillness. A woman in a blazing red blazer marched briskly up the gravel path, clipboard in hand, jabbing a finger at my 82-year-old grandfather as if he were trespassing. "Excuse me, sir," she said, with the commanding tone of someone unaccustomed to resistance. "This property falls under Willow Ridge community regulations, and I don't see your name listed as an authorized resident." My grandfather, Harold Jennings, barely glanced up from the fishing lure he was crafting. He'd been living at my place for the past month, lending a hand with repairs and teaching me his old fish stew recipe. The man had spent over 4 decades in county planning, retiring as the regional director. But you'd never guess it from his faded jeans and sun-bleached cap. "Ma'am," he said in his calm, unshakable drawl. "Just visiting my grandson. Is there some kind of issue?" The woman recoiled like she'd just swallowed vinegar. "Yes, there is an issue. I'm Beverly Monroe, president of the Willow Ridge Community Board. According to the bylaws, extended guests must be registered and approved. You've been here beyond the 14-day maximum." I stepped outside, coffee in hand, stunned by what I was hearing. I'd inherited this place from my grandmother 6 months ago. It sat on 5 wooded acres, technically within Willow Ridge boundaries but constructed decades before the community was developed. Sure, I'd received notes about trivial things, mailbox paint, a flagged wind chime, but this was next-level interference. "Beverly," I began, doing my best to stay composed. "This is my grandfather. He's helping me fix the place up. I didn't realize I needed authorization to have my own family over." She turned to face me, her hair a helmet of hairspray perfection. "Mr. Nolan, property records show you're the sole occupant. Anyone staying longer than 14 days must be approved. Your grandfather has been spotted on site for 24. "Spotted?" Grandpa chuckled. "You've been monitoring my visits." Beverly's chest swelled with self-righteousness. "We maintain surveillance to ensure neighborhood standards are upheld. We have photographic proof of his presence, including prohibited activities." She began flipping through her clipboard like a bureaucratic sword fighter. "Fishing without a community permit, construction during quiet hours, and frequent unauthorized gatherings, Tuesday night card games, to be specific." I nearly laughed aloud. The gatherings were Grandpa and a few local retirees playing low-stakes poker while reminiscing about the old days. Beverly wasn't laughing. She produced a manila envelope from her bag. "This is a formal notice. Your grandfather has 72 hours to vacate the premises or we will initiate formal proceedings." Grandpa stood, his tall frame looming over her. I saw a spark of the man who once wrestled budget reports from reluctant county commissioners. "Proceedings? On what legal foundation, exactly?" She didn't blink. Section 9, Paragraph 5 mandates resident approval. Section 14 prohibits commercial activities, gambling included. Section 22 requires pre-approval for all structural changes. We have photographic proof of a recent deck addition. She was referring to the telescope platform Grandpa helped build, a 4x4 wooden square, a foot off the ground. Furthermore, she added, now fully in her groove, there were noise complaints from early morning tool use, smoke from open grilling, and an unsanctioned canoe rack. I clenched my jaw. That canoe rack had been there since 1979. This was absurd. Grandpa, however, remained relaxed. He accepted the envelope with a nod, then did something unexpected. He smiled. "Ms. Monroe, I respect your dedication. Out of curiosity, how long have you held your position?" She brightened. 4 years this April. Under my leadership, compliance rates have soared. "Remarkable," Grandpa said dryly. "Then you're surely familiar with County Statute 811A, the one about historical property exemptions." Beverly's confident stance wavered. "I'm aware of all relevant codes." "Good," Grandpa replied, "because properties built over 25 years before community establishment are exempt from regulation. I assume you verified this." Her expression twisted as realization dawned. But she clung to her authority. "Regardless, you're not listed as the property owner. That means your presence still requires board clearance. The 72-hour notice stands." She stormed back to her car, a sparkling white crossover plastered with Willow Ridge decals. As she drove off, Grandpa gave a low whistle. Well, this just got interesting. The next morning, I found Grandpa dressed in his old suit, laptop open, legal books and sticky notes spread across the table. "Big plans?" I asked, topping off my mug. "Heading to the county administration office. Haven't been in a while." Thought I'd drop in on some old colleagues. Though he retired years ago, Grandpa had stayed connected. He'd hired, trained, or mentored half of the local government. When he got serious, things happened. While he was gone, Beverly cruised past the house multiple times, each time slower than the last. On her 5th round, she stopped and began snapping pictures. Moments later, my neighbor Tim texted, "Prez is measuring your dock." Just FYI, I found her at the water's edge with a tape measure. "This dock extends 24 feet, she declared. "Community policy sets the limit at 20. This violates compliance. This dock was approved in 1985 by the county. It predates the community. County approval is superseded by HOA regulations," she snapped. "Non-compliance will incur daily fines." She was so focused, she didn't notice the old Ford truck rolling into my driveway. Grandpa stepped out, followed by 3 county vehicles. "Ms. Monroe," a woman's voice called. Beverly turned to see a composed woman flanked by 2 uniformed inspectors and a suited man. "I'm Helena Ruiz, Director of County Code Enforcement. This is Inspector Dean, Inspector Salazar, and Attorney Thomas Lynn from the county office. We need a word." Beverly paled. "What about?" "We've received numerous complaints about improper HOA practices, property harassment, and potential misuse of funds. We'd like to clarify a few matters." Grandpa sauntered up. "Helena, good to see you." She smiled warmly. "Mr. Jennings hired me back when I was just a trainee. Taught me half of what I know." One inspector nodded. "He trained me during code audits." The attorney added, "He recommended me for my internship." Beverly's eyes darted. "This is highly irregular. He can't influence a case." Attorney Lynn replied calmly, "Mr. Jennings didn't file complaints. We have 19 formal grievances from residents. He simply offered historical documents." Helena pulled out a file. "Including records that show 5 Lakeside properties, including this one, were specifically exempted when Willow Ridge was chartered. That exemption is legally binding." "That's not possible," Beverly shouted. "It was filed with the county clerk. Public record." "You missed it," Grandpa chimed in. "And more troubling are some curious entries in the HOA's financial ledger." "Beverly, perhaps you can explain the $42,000 from the Community Beautification Fund that went into personal property upgrades." Her color drained. "Those were approved improvements. Koi ponds, stone fireplaces, and luxury patio kitchens." Inspector Dean asked, reviewing his notes. Attorney Lynn stepped forward. "Ms. Monroe, you'll need to accompany us downtown. We also recommend the immediate suspension of your board role pending investigation." She exploded. "You can't do this. I raised property values. Compliance is at an all-time high." "Through unlawful intimidation and misused authority," Helena said coolly. "We have evidence of fabricated violations, unauthorized surveillance, and tampering with board elections." She turned to me. "Mr. Nolan, your property is exempt. Any claims against you are nullified. We regret the inconvenience." Beverly sputtered. "This isn't over. I'll sue. I'll go to the press." Grandpa raised a hand. "I'd advise caution. The attorney has enough for a criminal case. Cooperating might be in your best interest." Beverly deflated. "What do you want from me?" "Immediate resignation," Lynn stated, handing her papers. "Full cooperation, restitution, and written apologies to all affected homeowners." She signed with a trembling hand. I felt an odd mix of relief and pity. She'd done this to herself, but it was still hard to watch. After the officials left, Grandpa and I sat on the deck, the lake calm once again. "How do you know about the finances?" I asked. He grinned. "Didn't. But people who abuse power often have more to hide. I just gave the right people a nudge. And the exemption, oh, that I knew. Helped draft it in, 95. Your grandmother insisted. She knew better than anyone how these things go." Over the following weeks, Beverly's misconduct unraveled. The total embezzled exceeded $60,000. She accepted a plea, restitution, 600 hours of service, and 3 years probation. I last saw her at the courthouse. Gone was the blazing blazer, in its place, a plain gray suit and hollow eyes. When the judge announced the sentence and fines, she didn't flinch. Just nodded and left, shoulders hunched, future uncertain. Grandpa gave me a wink that said it all. Justice served, lesson taught.